Hey, everyone. You're here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Janine, and I welcome you to my podcast, Quest for You. This is episode 261. And over the many years I've been alive on this planet, I've come to observe a strange phenomenon. We are wide awake and alert when our life falls apart. We kick and we scream, we complain and we whine. We let the entire world know that things are going badly. We switch into survival mode, barely making it, always on alert for the next bad thing to happen. Negative, depressed, beaten down. And then, one day, we lift our head. So used to walking in darkness, we haven't noticed the light that slowly moved in. But one day, it shines so brightly into our face that we cannot help but look up and acknowledge the fact that things have fallen into place. Without us noticing, without what appears to be any major doing on our part. I've looked back on my life to try to figure out when this occurred. What were the moments when things seemed to have fallen into place, like dominoes on a table? All in perfect order, bringing light into my dark world, relieving an immense pressure off my chest, and leaving me in awe and surprise about how amazing life can be sometimes. It's an incredible feeling when you notice it. But what appears to come together almost by coincidence is really not just a random act of higher power. It may seem like it. Suddenly everything seems to work out. The right people come into our life, maybe even that partner we've been waiting for. We get the job we had our eyes on for months. Our application goes through. The package finally arrives. The tests come back as negative. We get the long-awaited yes. Everything suddenly works out. It appears to be coincidence, or good luck, or some kind of spiritual intervention. But my theory is a different one. The times I noticed when things come together, when something I've hoped and wished for many years suddenly comes through, and then even better than I imagined. When little things that seemed huge obstacles before now work out smoothly. And when I don't need to apply any force or pressure to get things moving. Those are the times when I know I'm on the right track. I've made decisions in the past that were the right decisions, in line with my values and with what matters most to me. And then I've taken small but deliberate actions to execute on my decisions. The many times I worked on my project, my dream, sacrificing other, maybe more entertaining activities. When I chose the more difficult path, the one that was less shinier, less appealing, harder to work on, and often lonelier. That is when I walked towards the light, but without seeing it. And this is what got me here. That is why things fell into place. The right decisions and the right actions, small and slow, are what made things fall into place. That is when, after a lot of hard work, possibly many days in darkness, without assurance that things will work out, only hoping for a sliver of light, that is when slowly everything fell together. When I went for that, which spoke loudly to me and felt strong in my heart, that which brought me inner fulfillment, that is when I found everything else I had also been searching for. Said in a different way, when I did what I loved, everything came together. When I started my podcast, I not only learned about speaking, creating content, time management, and editing audio, but I also found a purpose in my life. When I gave climbing a chance, following my heart despite how irrational it seemed, I didn't just learn a new sport. I'm constantly meeting new people, something that was missing in my life for so many years. I'm out in nature every weekend, getting to know this beautiful state I live in. Something I had sworn myself I would do before I moved here, but then didn't do for the first 3 years. When I went for a job because of the people that worked there, and not because of the money, the brand name, or my title, that is when I found a work environment that was for the first time stress and pressure free, that I don't dread every Monday, but enjoy going to, and that allows me the balance in my life to pursue my personal goals, such as podcasting and climbing. I believe, as cheesy as this sounds, when we follow our heart, meaning when we make decisions in line with our inner guidance system and not based on outside criteria, then things eventually fall into place. It will take time. It may appear as if we never get there, hopeless, desperate, and a waste of time. But one day we will notice it, that it all came together. Not just the one thing we had hoped for, and not just on a small scale that we dreamed of, but in a huge way, finding more than we set out in our search. When things fall into place, we get rewarded for our effort and our sacrifice. And sometimes that reward comes in unexpected ways. Have you ever listened to people tell their weight loss stories? The first thing is, of course, they lost the weight. That was their primary goal. But when they speak, their eyes sparkle more over the many other things that came along and that they didn't even plan on. Improved health, more vitality and energy, clarity on open issues in their life, improved relationships with their loved ones, a sense of direction, knowledge about food and eating habits, and so many changes that came because one good thing was started. So my takeaway for all of us today is this. And yes, it's cheesy, but follow your heart. I mean it. Go for that intuition and that voice inside. And if you don't know what that is, then dig around in my past episodes. I've spoken about it on many occasions. Because when things fall into place, it's not just one isolated event or person that arrives. It's our life as a whole that takes on shape and form. It acquires meaning and purpose. And we become closer to the person we want to be. So don't feel discouraged when your venture hasn't paid off yet. When you cannot seem to get onto your yoga mat every single day. When people are still rude to you or ignore you. And when your career is not yet where you hope it would be. Give it time. The most important step is the one you did last week or yesterday or just now. The step into the right direction. As long as you know you are where your heart feels at home, eventually everything else will fall into place. And I wish you, from my heart, that this happens for you, because I know how good it can feel. Much love.